Single salute. I'm Lord Maitreya, the hip hop futurist. You're now tuned into the Super Longevity Institute podcast. This evening, I have a very special guest. He is one half of the group called Channel Live, discovered by Cannabis One. One of his hit singles was Madizm, which followed by his gold album Station Identification. His commitment to the Stop the Violence movement continues as he hosts his annual 24-hour of peace in New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, hip-hop futurists, transhumanists worldwide, Hakim Green, welcome to the Institute. Man,
peace,
yo.
peace. Thank you for having me.
Yo,
Appreciate
I got a lot of questions to ask you, my brother. Wow. Where you from in New Jersey?
Born in Orange, raised in East Orange.
Oh, East Orange. Okay. Wow. Can you remember the first time you came into contact with hip hop?
I would say King Mike C. Mike C from East Orange, New Jersey. I was probably 9 years old, like right out the sandbox. And this dude was spitting bars, going in. I was like, what's that? Walked over, and Mike C was probably about 11, 12. And he was spitting them rhymes. So a couple months ago, Redman put up a video of Mike C. You know, Mike C had a very difficult life, very similar like to DMX. Very similar to DMX. And a lot of promise. You know, we were expecting big things from Mike, but certain hurdles he just couldn't seem to overcome. But spitting them bars was never one of those hurdles. So,
wow.
Redman rolled up on Mike. Now Mike is, I don't know if he's homeless, but he's out there. Redman rolls up on him. Yo, this is Mike C. You don't understand? Before Tretch, before me, before this, before that, this guy right here. Everything he was saying was 100% facts. Spit something. And then Mike C just goes off the top for like 5 minutes. Bars. I'm talking about this dude is like almost 60 years old. I'm 52. Mike is like 55, 56, something like that. He just started spitting fire. Just going in. You could YouTube it. Redman runs into Mike C.
I definitely will.
And, yeah, man. So, you got that. And then, of course, Rapper's Delight was real big. Super Rhymes was real big for me.
Super Rhymes.
Super Rhymes. Rhymes. Right. Rest in peace, Jimmy Spicer.
Wow.
And that was like, that knocked me. That took me for a loop. Like, Rapper's Delight, you had to know every line in a 14-minute, some odd second song, 14 minutes. Super Rhymes, you had to learn every rhyme. So this is like the first time I'm really getting impacted by hip hop. The Crash Crew was real big for me.
Crash Crew.
Yes, this is something for the radio.
Right.
And super rapping and Curtis Blow, all that stuff, man. It was like, so yeah, that's the first time. That's the first hip hop. Hakim was like, oh, I gotta do this. This is what it is. And of course, let me shout out to Stardust 3, which was an early rap group. Big shout out to Asiatic, who taught me how to rhyme. And I was like 9, 10 years old. Like after I saw Mike C, I had to learn how to do it. So I had my little 3 rhymes, 8 bars. I had my Frankenstein rhyme. I had my Superman rhyme.
No doubt.
You had an on and on like the hot butter popcorn. You had to have one of those rhymes.
Wow, yeah, you had to be diverse.
Yeah, right, diverse. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, man, it's like it was something that we was doing before we called it hip hop. It was rapping where you just wanted to rap, or break dance, or do graffiti, or DJ. So
I feel you on the different flows because today, pretty much, the mainstream sounds the same. No disrespect to nobody. I listen to all of it. I respect everybody's what they're trying to do, but you don't, you just hear the same patterns. But that's why I was like, when you was talking about the different flows that you had, it's always good to switch your flow up. In my opinion, serve some diversity in your cadence. I think that's dope. But Yeah, so your boy Asiatic is the one. That's when you started That's who taught you how to rhyme.
Richard Dixon,
Wow.
aka Asiatic Dramatic, and the Stardust Three. My man Buddha Black, and you had Tiny T,
Wow.
and Tiny was before Tiny T Treachery,
Mm.
which later became Tretch.
Mm.
I went to high school with Naughty.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I went to high school with Naughty.
That's crazy.
First time I came in contact with Criminal Minded, I was walking in the homeroom class, 1980, I guess that was 87,
Mm.
and KG was holding the, because we had the same homeroom class. He had the big hot top fade. He had the big Kid and Play joint. He had the, he stayed with some gold, the Nefertiti joint, and he had the fourth finger ring.
Wow.
He in the homeroom class, he looking at the BDP album. I'm like, who's these niggas?
Wow.
These got guns on the album. They not trying to sell no records.
Yeah, you ain't like.
That's the other thing. Like, again, diversity. I went to camp every year, from like 1979 to 1987. So because of camp, I got introduced to a lot of other music, different music, because they weren't really trying to hear rap music. I might have been like one of, 4 or 5 black campers from the hood, in a mix of like, hundreds of white kids.
Yeah. Oh,
and all they into is Ozzy Osbourne, Leonard Skinner, Jethro Tull.
wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff. And it wasn't trying to feel nothing hip hop related, rap related. Outside of Rappers Life was real big for them. But then when Run DMC came, it was a rap. Like when, let me rephrase that. When Walk This Way came, it was rap.
Wow,
Walk This Way came, it was like, and MTV gave it the embrace. Then it was a go. And then they was trying to do the rap thing. They was trying, at least listening and giving you the handshake. Hand be like this, trying to shake your hand.
Wow.
And just so yeah, hip hop has come a long way.
Yeah, man. How you feel about this museum that's gonna be built on in the Bronx, the Universal Hip Hop Museum?
I think it's dope. I think it's absolutely, positively, 1,000% dope.
Yeah.
And, big shout out to Rocky. Big shout out to Paradise. Big shout out to Pete Nice. Big shout out to Martha Diaz. Big shout out to everybody involved with this thing, because it's an endeavor that they've been on. Rocky has been on for like, I want to say decades maybe. And going from an idea to see something physically manifest is when I was up there a couple weeks ago. I'm dropping a single, took a test, and another joint called The Cypher featuring KRS-One, and we'll get into all that. But part of the video is at the Universal Hip Hop Museum pop-up shop, which is across the street from where they're actually building locations. So going up there to shoot the video, I got a chance to see like right across the street where the bulldozers are, where they about to, they've already broken ground. They did the big ceremony with the mayor and everybody from the people from the state, all the, not all the foundation, but a good number of the foundational members of, the early days was in the building. And it was a beautiful sight to see.
Wow.
So I'm looking for big things from that.
Wow, that was the groundbreaking
ceremony. And took a test. Some of the museum is in the video. So.
That's fire. Yeah, that's dope. I'm waiting. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Wow. So tell us about your your first album came out your first single came out in '94. Madizm. How did you meet KRS-One, and how did that record? How did you come about? How did you meet your partner?
Battling Barclay and Proswell at Montclair State College.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I went to Wagner College in Staten Island, and then I transferred back home to Montclair State in Jersey, and college parties was the thing.
No doubt.
And Montclair State had some dope college parties, so party was set. I'm in the building. I think it was in Blanton, and I'm doing whatever to get it in. and saw Tuffy, and we started, we doing our thing. When Proswell and Wyclef come over. Now, the thing about Proswell is crazy is that following year, I started an after-school program called Act Now, African Children of Tomorrow Now, me and two friends of mine, one of which would later road manage the Fugees, Hassan Sharif. The other one was a teacher in Montclair. We started this after-school program and then taking the young folks to see different lecturers, John Henry Clark, Ivan Van Sertima, Leonard Jeffries, the legends, in the world of history. And KRS was doing Human Education Against Lies, HEAL. He would go to the different colleges, Ramapo, William Patterson, and Montclair, and we followed him around. We went to Ramapo lecture, William Patterson lecture, and then when he came to Montclair, I was a student there. Right. So everybody knew I was a big KRS fan. So, everybody's walking in, they say, I know you're going to the lecture, I know you been man, so I know. So I go all the way to the back, because I ain't want to look too thirsty. And when Chris walks in, he sees me, and he recognizes me from the other lectures. He goes, Hakim, I've been looking for you. The whole audience is, oh, no, he knows Hakim. Yo, come back after the lecture. Come backstage. I want to talk to you about something. People, well, I know you're going backstage. Yeah, hot. Hilarious. So I go backstage, and he goes, he's doing this lecture tour. He wants me to open up for him. So I did a couple lectures, opened up for a couple lectures for him and Leonard Jeffries. That's how we met. That's how the relationship started. And then like a year and a half later, I had my little demo, or we had a little demo. I was able to get it to him. And maybe a few weeks later, he called me up. He's like, yo, I'm in the studio. I'm at D&D. Why don't y'all come through and lay something? Wow. Pew! He's right there. That's how it all jumped off. Now, Madizm recorded that Madizm after we got the deal at Capitol. Big shout out to Malik Levy, LO7 Self, Matt Robinson over at Capitol. A million more, hooking it up. We got the deal at Capitol. We had this song on the demo called The Blunt is on Fire. The blunt is on fire. Quickly pass the lighter, let the Philly blunt burn. So in the song, I was the weed, Tuffy was the blunt. Third verse is what happens when you smoke it. Wow. So 16 bars, all the metaphors is I'm all different types of weed. Green, Hakim green, it's crystals and all that shit. You get to Tuffy, y'all rouse, split your back, dump you out, relace the joint, rewind your back, all that shit. Rap, light your ass on fire and shit. And then the last 16 was an 8 and 8 of, what happens when you smoke it. Wow. So when we was doing the album, Chris was like, nah, we gotta redo that, man. That shit's too complicated. Niggas ain't gonna get that shit. What you talking about? Yo, man, y'all niggas is too educated. Y'all be using too many syllables. Y'all too scientific, all that lyrical miracle. I'm telling y'all, man, y'all gotta dumb this shit down. You gotta speak baby talk to niggas. Wow, this is KRS-One telling niggas they gotta dumb their shit down. What is you talking about? Nah, I'm serious, bro. How is this possible? How is the teacher, the blast master, the greatest of all time in my book, telling me I dumb my shit down? Oh. Somebody broke into Chris's truck, stole all his fucking beats, all his discs.
Oh, shit. That's crazy.
It was right before he was going away. Wow. And shit, we went to some event downtown and went to the truck. His window was busted out. They took the fucking case with all the discs and shit.
That's crazy.
So when we did Madizm, that was the first beat. That was the first new creation. I don't have all my sounds. I don't have none of my drums. I gotta get everything brand new.
Wow.
That was the brand new joint. And he was like, y'all gotta dumb it down.
Wow.
So me and Tuffy wrote Madizm to be corny. We wrote that shit on some joke shit. Like, we gonna write it and be so corny. He gonna be like, all right, stop. All right. Just do what y'all want to do.
Wow.
So when I wrote Wake Up in the Morning, Got the Yearning for Herb, I was really trying to be silly.
Right.
It was in the middle of my verse. So he goes, when I get to Wake Up in the Morning, Got the Yearning, he goes, are you bugging? You need to start your verse like that. Like, this dude is wilding. Chris, I'm really trying to be, some. He was like, well, whatever it is, that shit is hot. You gotta keep that shit. So rhyme from there, go, and then take it from there, and then I'm gonna hop back in.
No doubt.
And then that's how this shit, that shit came about pretty much. That's how Madizm was made.
Wow. When's the first time you even lit a joint, yo? I had to ask that.
The first time I had weed, I was probably like 13, but I didn't inhale. I didn't get high. I wasn't trying to get high. Really, I was just just around the wrong group of people, so to speak. Because I was an athlete. I wanted to be a football player, so I thought.
Wow. You used to teach too, right?
Yeah, well, that's how I met Chris. I was a school teacher.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was a school teacher. So
respects.
Yeah, but the first time I got high was in summer camp, 1986. One time, got high, and then didn't really start smoking until I was like 21, 22.
Wow.
So after I started teaching, I went through college, started teaching, I wasn't smoking.
No doubt.
Around 21, 22, one of my old childhood friends, who, like, we were in the activist world together.
No doubt.
So a lot of organizing, a lot of protesting. You know what I'm saying? I was really, really about that from like 1988 to like, forever. Like, so he was a weed head from college. Like, he was a school teacher at a prominent New Jersey high school, and he was handling his business. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me see what it is. Him and my boy Rodney. Miss Jackson, actually, when we shot Madizm, when Chris walks out the house, in the back of that house, that's when I started smoking weed.
Wow.
Which is ironic because I didn't think about that when we shot Madizm there, which is Miss Jackson was a community mom, and her son was one of my best friends, Rodney. That's one of the people I started acting out with. And big, important family in the East Orange community. Across the street is Oval Park. Around the corner, KG's house on 18th Street. So in all those Naughty by Nature's videos where they're talking about 18th Street or 118th Street,
definitely.
You walk through Rodney's backyard, and you go through the next backyard and cross the street, you're on KG's porch.
Wow. So
Chris walks out the house, and the Madizm video goes down the block, and that's Eaton Place. And 19th Street, Greenwood Avenue, it's a fork. Oval Park is right there. And so that's just for folks, if you ever want to watch the video, you want to know where is this shot, that's where it's shot.
Yo, now that you bring that up, man, I would love to see I would love to see a documentary about that whole movement, New Jersey movement from that era, East Orange, Newark. You know what I'm saying, Elizabeth.
Yeah, there's a documentary out called "Don't Forget About Jersey." It's on one of this, I don't know if it's Netflix or Prime or one of them joints is on. But don't forget about Jersey. If you look it up on YouTube, it's probably there too.
Yo, thank you for putting me on that, because I didn't even hear about it. I'm glad I asked, because I seen another movie that I didn't know about like 2 days ago. I was like, what the hell? How did this escape me? It was called Gully World. It was about the hip hop movement in India. I was like, how did this? And Nas was the executive producer. I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, it's a lot of content. It's it's a great time for content makers. If you got some
Yeah.
stuff, get it out there.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I gotta see this. And this girl I know, she's from India. She's mad cool with me. She put me on. She was like, "I'm Trey, you don't know about this?" I said, "Yo, good looking." I said, I'm definitely gonna watch this." But yeah, man, I'm definitely gonna check that documentary about Jersey. What clubs was popping when y'all first came out?
So I got this rhyme.
Hmm.
I was just a Jersey boy with hip hop on my mind. Earn my grind. I was just a Jersey boy with hip hop on my mind. I was just a Jersey boy with hip hop on my mind. Earn my stripes if you only knew my grind. I wished upon a star, rather stardust 3 times 2, Super 6, them boys, B, C, E stars, Mike C. MC Treachery, Raleigh Racket Club, I came sharp with weaponry. Our Lady Helper Christians saw that God checked the melody, and we tried to stop the violence with Chris and Miss Melody. Club 88, Cocaine in 88. Dick Shout the Ralph Roberson, the rink we used to skate. Then I was off to the city of Jersey head with new style. It was all about the culture, and battling me was futile. New York had the ball right before the fumble. I'm talking 88, Jungle Brothers at the tunnel. I'm talking Latin quarters, Palladium 54, wherever. Anyway, I forgot.
That's all good.
54, Studio 54, Funhouse, Heartthrobs, Club 88, Peppermint Lounge, Bogies, the Palladium.
Wow.
Man, the list is too many to name. Kilimanjaro, Home Base, Red Zone. Las 61.
Las 61.
El Flamingo, Latin Quarters. The list goes on, man. Like, I was a club head from like 1986, 87, all through the I lived that shit. Hard body. I was in it. Like, It was exciting in New York City, New Jersey. But New York was a different world. And like hanging out in Greenwich Village at Washington Square Park, it was like no beepers, this is before beepers, well, maybe beepers. Nah, not before beepers, before cell phones, of course. You had the pay phone. So you had to schedule something with a bunch of friends. You had to meet up somewhere. And you just had to trust everybody's coming from different parts of the tri-state area.
Right.
Some people are coming from Brooklyn, Queens, whatever. Some people are coming from Jersey, North, East Orange. I'm driving, I'm taking the bus or the PATH train, and we're going to meet on 9th and 6th Avenue. When I come off the PATH, just meet me there. Bella's Pizzeria. Go to Bella's Pizzeria, you go to Ray's Pizzeria up the block, and you walk around the corner to Washington Square Park.
Right.
And you get out there like 12:30, 1 in the afternoon. You're staying out there like 6:37. Wow. I'm talking about just Queen Latifah, the Jungle Brothers. You might see Special Ed. You might see Kane. You might see Kenny Parker. You might see Red Alert. You might see Moni Love. Because it was just, when you came to New York, you went to the Greenwich. Like, that was where the culture was. So, yeah, all this other. I mind you, this is 88, 9.
No,
90,
I heard this before.
92.
Yes, definitely.
And John Forte, the Fugees, before they the Fugees. The exchange of culture was just next level. And it was like so much information and so much knowledge around, so many reminders of, building and again trying to do something more than just get a record deal. It was like, okay, yeah, you was trying to get a record deal, but there was so many other things that you were doing from organizing, after school programs, protesting. It was a really dope time in New York City for the culture.
Right. Who besides KRS-One, who inspired you? Because I know Naughty by Nature, man. Treach was a beast. I don't know if people go back. Redman and them, man. It was. I mean, that whole Jersey movement with Latifah, it was killing it. Bro.
That was crazy, boy.
They was killing it, man.
Yeah. Nah, it's to me, everybody influenced me. Basically, you got a hot joint, I was influenced.
Facts.
If you had something that made me sing along, and I'm trying to study your rhyme, study your verse, write your shit over, Cool G rap. Oh my God. When I was 5 years old, I realized there was a road at the end. I would win lots of positives. Like you had to write that song down and know every line of this. I just had to.
I was listening to that before you got on. I was listening to that very record.
Crazy. And, you know, you got everybody from Schoolie D in Philadelphia. You got the whole Philly movement. You got, you know, Richie Rich and you Steady B, Cool C. You got, you know, you got a lot of that Philly movement was crazy.
Yeah.
That was very influential, you know. But everybody was influential, you know.
Yeah.
So if you had a hit record, not even a hit record, if you just motivated me to be like, damn, this shit is hot. You influenced me. Because I might go write some shit up really fast. Get busy right fast.
Facts, yo.
You know what I mean?
Let me ask you something. I see your logo, man. Your logo was very intricate. And it's, you know, can you break down our logo? Like, it's Haru, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Big shout out to my wife, Jasmine. She's the one who created it. But, I mean, it's my idea. It's a tattoo I got on. Yeah, this on.
That's fire, yo. Fire.
Thank you.
Fire.
And it's Haru, the hero, the hour. That's where we get the word hour from. Where we get the word hero from. It's Christ, you know, and the Egyptian Trinity, the Kemetic Trinity, Haru is the Christ child. Gold is wisdom, enlightenment. Green is the earth, natural, nature. Green is good. Green is life. Got the weed in one hand, got the microphone in the other.
Facts.
That's what I'm ready to do. All we do is spark Madizm.
Yo. So you believe in medical that marijuana is a medicine?
Believe? No, I don't believe that. You know, it is what it is.
Facts.
And it's definitely helped me get through some tough times because like I've had a lot of injuries through my life. Separated shoulder, fractured hip, tore ligaments in my knee. So that whole stretch that I was Hakim from Channel Live, even like I did the shoulder and the hip in 87, the knee in 88. So that whole run through the 90s, I was in pain and was medicating with cannabis. Didn't realize it. That's what I was doing. Wow. And I was able to go through life through a lot of pain, you know, no rehab. It's just being stupid, being dumb, you know, not focused on what was really important. And, but, you know, it's all good. I'm on the other side, but I owe that to cannabis. And now that we have the research and we have the knowledge and it's public as to the benefits that cannabis brings medicinally and as a stress reliever, just, you know, to help meditate. You know, it's nature, it's natural, you know. Green, Hakim green.
My homegirl, she's running for mayor of Camden, New Jersey. She talks about the healing powers of marijuana.
Nice.
All the time. She said she had late stage cancer and she took this thing called Simpson oil, and that's how she said she got healed. Really? She swears by it.
Yeah, that's right. You reached out to me trying to find something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you said the link that you had wasn't, the potency wasn't.
Yeah, the potency wasn't what I was talking to one of my homegirls, and she was like, "Yo, that's good for him, but he needs something that he needs the Rick Simpson oil itself." And I didn't know anybody who can make it. I was so frustrated because I was like, yo, man, I'm going to try to make this. But you risk blowing yourself up hard.
Yeah, I won't do that.
So I was just like, yo, I was that desperate. I was actually thinking about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm like, dang, this is like a close friend of mine. So, you know, we definitely need I really feel like, you know, I hope that we're close to federally legalizing this. Because this is, you know, I mean, where's the gridlock at, man? I mean, come on. What's going on?
Well, I want people to research Title 21, Section 885. Go to us.gov, and you're going to put in Section 885, burden of proof and liabilities. And then you also put in 822 and 802. One is ultimate user clause, and I forget the other one. But if you also go to GamePhace, GamphaCe, GamphaCe.com, or look that up on YouTube, and you'll see there's been a federal program since like the 30s. It was rediscovered in the 70s, and then for again, mainly through my friend Robert H. Moore Jr., who is the founder of GamePhace, CEO. And this law that exists allows people in the private organizations in the private sector to possess, transport, warehouse, and use cannabis as a part of a program to encourage farmers to grow hemp. Right. So, like, we're in the research and development portion of this. So, like, all right. So if you YouTube Hakim Green fights marijuana charge on YouTube, you'll see I got arrested in New York.
Wow.
With cannabis on me.
Wow.
And I was going to court to I had a friend going through something, and I had an 8 on me. So I'm in Manhattan District Court, 100 Center Street, Manhattan District Court.
Wow.
Weed on me. They wind me down, find the weed, arrest me, take me up. So they give me a summons to come back for a court date. I'm supposed to go see the judge and prosecutor, where they're going to hear the case and then decide what to do with me now. In all fairness, cannabis at that point in New York really wasn't a big thing. You were like, it's like $100 fine,
right?
You know, something like whatever. So when I go to get the court date, I go to the clerk, and he sees the summons, and he goes, "You got arrested in court with weed? You're stupid. You're an idiot." No, this is a police officer.
Wow.
He goes, "Do I need to have you searched right now? You probably got weed on you right now, don't you? Do I need to have you searched?" So I'm laughing. I said, "Listen, I just want to put on the record that I'm a member of fairly registered Schedule 1 marijuana industrial hemp. Fairly registered Schedule 1 marijuana exempt industrial hemp." Wow. And then the whole spiel. So the whole spiel like that. I said we're filed under federal law, Title 21, United States Code Section 885, burden of proof and liabilities, which allows me to have possession of cannabis. He looked at me. He goes, "Oh, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Somebody lied to you. That law has been revoked." Law has been revoked.
Wow.
Consider today your lucky day. I'm throwing this out. And he wrote me a note saying that they didn't have sufficient evidence for my everything's thrown out, and kept it moving.
Wow.
If you look up GamePhace, GamphaCe, you'll see Rob Moore spanking the judge around in New York after a possession charge.
Wow.
And then going back and forth with the judge, and then finally she realizes that all his paperwork is official and that she has no cause to go further. Wow. And she wants to throw it out. And he's like, "Throw it out? Nah, I don't want to throw this out. I want to go to trial." Wow. "No, you don't want to go to trial, Mr. Moore." "No, I want to go to trial." So the public knows that this law exists. The public knows that you can be under the federal government. Wow. Now, I'm talking too much right now. You got to look all this stuff up so you can see it for yourself.
Wow, I will. And I'm going to have some of those links in the description too. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, I went off the tangent.
No, that's
all we do is spark Madizm right there.
No, that was dope. I'm glad you shared that with us. But I wanna talk about other stuff too. But the cannabis economy. Do you think that? Because I feel like people like yourself, Redman, or Cypress Hill, Yuck Mouth. I feel like y'all really for years been talking about hemp and weed, the cannabis, and I just feel like I want to see more hip hoppers have a stake in the cannabis economy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see. Do you think that in the future that we'll have more of the piece of the pie when this thing really opens up and gets legalized federally? And do you think that you might open up a dispensary?
No,
yourself?
I'm not. But if somebody like to license the brand, sure you can. But I don't want to sit there. It's a lot of details. It's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of hard work and
That's a fact.
detail to be right. You gotta soup to nuts. You gotta know every aspect of the game.
Yeah.
And there's so much. How can you say? There's so much oversight and like it's a headache. But there are people who have it already set up and they know what they're doing and they're in position. They're specialists at what they do. And my value is branding. My value is Madizm, is the culture. My value is something recognizable that when people see it, when people hear that name, they already know what you're talking about. And it's so that's my job, is to submit that and then, let the specialists do what they do. Let's get together and do something together.
All right. I had to ask that.
Speaking of Madizm, I have a talk show called Madizm TV.
No doubt.
And Madizm TV is an interview platform where I try to get people important to the culture of hip hop and to the culture and movement of cannabis, and to discuss various topics. And then I also have another program called Madizm Sports, which I co-host with KG from Naughty by Nature and my boy Wes Powell and Uncle Spliffy. We about to get it in.
Oh yeah. Where can they find the podcast?
Yeah, on my YouTube page, youtube.com/C as in Charlie /Madizm. And subscribe, please. Go over there, hit it up, subscribe. Give the brother some love.
No doubt. I'm definitely subscribed. I just watched the joint with Nature. It was dope. I just watched the joint with Nature the other day. I was like, yo, this is a dope interview.
I got Nature on there. I got Mike Geronimo on there. I got who else I got on there? Paradise Gray.
Yeah, I listened to that one too. That was ill.
Rocky Bacano from the Universal Hip Hop Museum.
Yeah.
I got Ralph McDaniels, Roz Baraka, Midi Baraka. I got who else? DXT, Roxanne Shante. I got between the two shows, I got over 60 different shows.
Wow.
And I also have Madizm Monday, which you can check out for, which I was doing with Focus.
Mm-hmm.
I got a dope KRS-One interview up there. I got an interview with my Madizm TV. I got Pete Rock and M1 Domingo. There's third. Yeah, man. So I got some quality content.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. Try to represent the real.
No doubt. I definitely enjoyed it. The stuff that I seen, I was like, wow, this is great. I definitely seen. When I went to your website, it said something about a cannabis journal. And that's how you perceive. That's how you come in, because hip hop don't even have nothing like a can. Can you imagine us having a cannabis journal?
Yeah.
With research printed in it.
See, it's like the thing is, like, my name is Hakim Gray.
Right.
So I am Madizm.
No doubt.
I just am. I can't even help it. It's like, oh, Madizm.
No doubt.
And where I go, oh, Matt, see the channel live or Madizm.
No doubt.
I know you know what a weed is.
No doubt.
So everything I do really is just documenting things from the perspective of the ultimate cannabis consumer. Hakim Green. It is. So the Madizm TV is me documenting culture from a cannabis user's perspective. Madizm Sports is just discussing the world of sports Well, I smoke. I said smoke. Talk about what's on TV. You know what I mean? Basically, you know. So yeah, and then the journal itself is expanding. I'm going to relaunch it pretty soon. You know, it just needs to be on a platform that it deserves, a better platform. So I'm moving it over.
It's dope.
Yeah, thank you. It's gonna be even better, and
I'm
that's
glad
gonna
to
be
hear
like
it.
okay, me moving around when I'm out doing the Madizm cipher. The Madizm cipher is it's a song called the cipher featuring KRS-One, but it's also an event. You know, we have MCs come represent, spit the real, and that's the Madizm cipher. And one in Orlando with Thurston Howell III on August 29th. And then we're going to do one in New York City, September 2nd. KRS performing at the D Nice joint in Park Slope at the band shell with Big Daddy Kane and Stephanie Mills. And it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to do a little after party that night. The Madizm Cypher after party.
Wow. That sounds dope. I think the one in New York, I'm definitely want to come to that.
So
yeah, I'll be at that. That sounds dope. And you got a new I seen the joint, the single what you did with Carl Thomas. That you got a video for. That was dope. How'd you hook up with Carl Thomas, man? How'd you put that together? That was dope.
I've known Carl since like '92.
Wow.
Yeah, we were signed to the same producer. Before I got down with KRS, I was signed to a production company, Character Music, and he was an artist there. So I've been making music with Carl for like decades.
Wow.
Yeah, he's on the second album, Armageddon, that we put out through Flavor Unit.
Armageddon.
He's on 2 songs on that. Yeah. He's on Lies and Rumors and Wild Horse. And then I've got a number of songs, like at least a good 10 songs with Carl over the years.
It's crazy.
And myself and Tuffy are responsible for him meeting Mike City, which is how Carl got I Wish I Never Met Her, his first single.
Wow.
Tuffy and Mike City went to high school together. And then me and Carl, he was like thick as thieves in Brooklyn. And Tuffy was like, played me the joint. And I'm like, yo, let me get this to Carl. Played him the cassette the next day.
Wow.
And we introduced, we brought that whole energy together. And that's how I Wish I Never Met Her popped off.
That's crazy.
And Mike City produced most of the album Armageddon, along with Poison Ivy and Buddha Shamello. Big shout out to Shamello. Rest in peace. Yeah.
Wow.
Chucky Madness. Big shout out Chucky Madness. Yeah.
Wow.
And then Benny Boom did the video off that album, Wild Out 2K. That was his first video as a director. That was one of my other best friends, or is one of my other best friends, I should say. And so we gave him his first shot as video director.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was that. You see where he's at with it. He's doing movies and TV. Yeah. And then Carl just is in this group that's coming out this year called The Shies. Carl Thomas, Dave Hollister, and Donnell Jones.
What?
Yes. It's a group called The Shy. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, they're about that. They're about to F the game up, yo.
They about to fuck the game up, yo. Hey, babe!
Yo, that's crazy. All right, I'm looking forward to hearing that. Who Want the Smoke? Tell us about that project, man. I just heard a track. I heard a track or two. It's fire.
Oh, thank you.
Fire.
Thank you. So yeah, I was doing activist work. I was working with Roz Barack and them out in Newark, New Jersey. Doing some after school teaching and stuff like that. I was working with the Harlem Children's Zone. I kind of like, my image from the rap days, I kind of got it kind of cleaned up. The presentation was a little bit more,
I could dig it.
I was still smoking, but the imaging was like,
no doubt.
So I ran into Chris. He was like, yo, how come you're not doing this cannabis thing? What are you doing? What do you mean? He's like, you need to be in California selling weed with the record Madizm. You know how large you would be in California. If you went to California, you would be fucking. You need to get in the weed shit. Now I sold weed, mad weed. I was like your favorite weed dealer from like 1998 to about 2005.
Wow.
I had New York City in a headlock with the herb.
Wow.
I was at every record label, Def Jam, Bad Boy, Columbia, all of the record labels. My phone would be ringing. Matter of fact, like again, not because of the Carl thing, but leading up to the Carl Thomas record, I was already in Bad Boy. Like I had an office. People thought I worked there. It was like, yo, man, you got an office in Bad Boy? You work with Bad Boy now? But nah, man, I just go up there and just sit there and wait for people to call me. I just get this weed.
No doubt.
I was doing other things too, i.e. the Carl Thomas record, but you know,
no doubt.
The bread was the weed. So, Snoop, Lil Wayne, you know, everybody they come to New York City, they call Hawk for the weed.
Wow.
So, moving away from that, 2005, 2006, 2007, I started cleaning up. We started get more, back in the system, teaching. And Chris was like, yo, you need to be doing the weed thing, bro. I'm like, struggle with it. But in 2015 came around, I was like, you know what? It's the 20th anniversary of Madizm. Let's celebrate it with a song. So I did this song with Tretch, Do It All, Keith Murray. We added Dime a Dozen and Minty Burns to the remix. And she was dope. Produced by Domingo. Big shout out to him.
Oh, wow.
And
that kid's dope.
Yeah, Domingo's real dope.
Yeah, Domingo's dope. I heard of Domingo's dope.
Domingo's Illmatic. So I dropped that joint. And then I launched the website, Madizm, the Ultimate Cannabis Journal, madizm.info. And started just covering I started working on a documentary. Madizm. The Fabric of American Culture. HipHop and Hemp, the Fabric of American Culture.
That's fire.
I'm on my mission, again, documenting the culture. I'm going to High Times, 420 events. I'm going to interview my man DJ out in Rhode Island who had the dispensary with the high power. They take White Widow and they make it like the what do they call it? It's the
wow.
It's for cancer patients. It's the oil, but it's the highly concentrated. It's real. Looks black. It looks real
the
dark.
Simpson oil. The Rick Simpson oil.
I don't know if they called it Rick Simpson oil, but my guy up in Rhode Island, he had an operation where he was producing that.
Wow.
All right. If you can see scenes if you look up Madizm, HipHop and Hemp, the Fabric of American Culture. Wow. Look that up on YouTube. You'll see my guy DJ in the joint and the different processes that they use. Anyway,
that's crazy.
Working on a documentary, just building out. I recorded another song called "What Is Madizm" featuring KRS and General Steel, produced by Breakbeat Lou. Thank you. Produced by Breakbeat Lou. I dropped that in 2016. Just to keep it going.
Yeah.
Right. And then I did the joint with Drez, Sweet Marijuana. And then I did the Mad Spanglish joint. I wanted something that had a Latin feel to it. Because Latin community extremely supportive of Madizm throughout the years. So I wanted something that leaned towards that. Got with Thurston Howard III, DJ XS, of course, 2 L's Up, Low Life Family, you know how that is. Hopped on that. Mad Spanglish, big shout out to Don Beats who produced it. Just wanted to take the original sample and flip it, give it a whole new feel.
Dope.
And then it was like getting closer to the 25th anniversary in 2020. I just need to do a whole album project. The last song I recorded was, I believe, Put It in the Air. So I did this song called Dump Trunk with DJ Heron.
Mm.
When I
Oh yeah,
first
yeah,
got,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
when I
yeah.
got down to Florida,
Yes, I remember that. All right.
yeah, Dump Trump.
Dump Trump. Yeah.
So like when I was finishing up this project, I played it for him. He was like, "Yo, man, this shit is dope, but man, how come I'm not on it?" I'm like, all right, just play me something. And he played me like the third beat he got to was the joint that I picked, and laid the verses down. And I was like, this track is just too big. I gotta do something bigger than just like I gotta let me call Carl up and see what he want to do.
Mm.
And I called him up, sent him the joint. He was like, "Yo, this shit is crazy. I'm on it." 2 days later, he sent us he sent us the hook, which is like the hook is crazy. He did his thing on the hook. That hook is phenomenal. It's like it's 2 different hooks on it.
Mm.
Like it's an A and B hook. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a spirit. It's a spiritual weed record. It's a gospel weed record.
Yeah, it's dope.
But Fight the Power. It's a Fight the Power weed record.
Yeah.
It's like this should be Sha'Carri Richardson's national anthem. This should be her theme song. That's what it should be. I believe. Put it in the air.
Put it in the air. Yeah. I was shocked. I was like, oh, snap, you got Carl Thomas on this, yo. This is fire.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I just, who's some of the young bulls you feeling today? Some of the young bulls that's out here that's doing their thing. They don't, who. All right, you know what? Scratch that. Who are the hip hoppers today? The young hip hoppers today that they don't necessarily have to MC that you feel that's helping push the culture forward in your eyes. Who's some of those people? The young hip hoppers out there that's moving and shaking.
See, it's like I'm bad because I'm not really. I listen to Rock the Bells. I listen to the Groove Station.
Yeah, I could dig it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I listen to my own personalized YouTube playlist.
I can dig it.
I'll be in the 90s. I'll be in the 70s. I'll be in the 80s. I'll be like, it'd be hard, bro.
Nah, I tell me.
Hard. Like I like the battle rap.
Hmm?
I like the battle rappers. Are funny. The battle rappers are dope. It's amazing that they memorize all this. They amazing the rhymes that they gotta memorize.
That's true.
To go at it like that, like all of the battle rappers are pretty much impressive.
Yeah,
Loaded
true.
Love, Surf, Av, who's my man from St. Louis, like all of them, dude. Like it's amazing that they have that much recall.
That's
in
true.
The heat of the moment, the personalities and the characters. I mean, sometimes it gets a little bit redundant, like I hear. When like there's a lot of Loaded Lux revisions, like a lot of people redo Loaded Lux, and sometimes it gets the setups be a little redundant and predictable sometimes, but overall they've been keeping the real hip hop alive. Like I really like the battle rap scene. I really like it. The J. Cole's, of course. I like, these guys aren't really young boys, but, I like Lupe, I like Royce the 5'9", I like Rhapsody. I like, she's not really, a young, she's been around for a while, but Rock, I like her. I mean, it'd be a lot of jokers that be spitting bars, man. I be catching stuff on it. My recall right now is I don't know the names off the top of my head.
I can dig it.
But a lot of I be hating the new stuff, hating the new stuff. Oh, y'all hating the new stuff. What's my man out of Georgia? Jid? What's his name? Jid? Is it Jid?
Dang, I don't even know.
This boy is fire. 4 Eyes, fire. Out of Georgia, 4 Eyes out of Georgia's fire is Jid. Oh my God, my son. I appreciate my son.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we got a lot of rappers that's really about speaking up for the people and keeping it political.
Yeah.
All, I think Lil Baby is brilliant.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think the Baby's brilliant. I
Yeah.
think a lot of these kids are just extremely talented and brilliant. They're just not making music for me,
Right.
and that's okay
That. Right. Right.
because I'm not making music for them.
Right. Right. Right.
If they happen to like it and appreciate it, that's great, you
Right.
know. But I'm talking me when I make music, I'm really talking to a certain ear, it's a certain spirit
Definitely.
that comes along that you hear and be like, oh shit, okay, as opposed to some shit that's like, it's a lot of it's redundant, a lot of it's not really good
Yeah.
music. It's just catchy or sensational,
Right.
or we just saying the wildest shit,
Right.
or I'm banging in my fucking verse, so everybody's checking out because I'm banging. It's all that stuff is like I hope it's run its course. I like what TPain said about everybody sounds completely alike. I think it's always good to get that type of energy to stir it up, like get people thinking, challenge people to do a little bit extra, a little bit more.
Yeah, but is he?
But then at the
But
same
is he?
time, huh?
Isn't he in position to put somebody on? Like, like me. I only
No,
have limited
nah,
resources. Like, some
yeah,
of
it
these
don't work like
cats, they got
it don't work
larger
like that.
resources. They could find the axe
Yeah,
and
he's had his own pitfalls.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like it hasn't been all gravy for T-Pain. He's had to fall and then pick
yeah,
himself back up.
yeah,
You go through your own experiences. So, and then the way music is disseminated is through algorithms now. It's like really you have to catch an algorithm.
yeah.
So
That's
just
true.
because T-Pain is backing you doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna move. Now
That's true.
you can strategically do it. Yeah, you can do it, but you're still fighting against a giant wave. You're fighting against a giant wave, and you got to be in the algorithm, or just say fuck it, I'll create my own algorithm,
Right.
and that takes a minute to do, especially for the when you're going against the grain like that, when everybody's talking about tit ass, I'll kill you, papa this, papa that.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody's talking about, and then the sound that they're presenting it, like it's like when we went from live instrumentation to digital music,
Mm.
it's hard to go back to live instrumentation because the ear
Mm.
it gets attuned to a certain sound. So
Mm.
that live instrumentation doesn't translate to the new ear. So even like boom bap to the new ear doesn't translate because we've gone through so many changes
Mm.
that to go back to that would be like in the 90s us going back to the 50s.
Right.
Not happening.
Right.
Just the pace of the music, the bop of the music, what was people used to go keep time, like just singing, be like, yeah, Frank Sinatra. You can't do that. Like in the 70s, you couldn't do Frank Sinatra. It's not gonna win in the 70s and the 80s.
Right.
Disco, electric music, different sounds, people get used to. So it's like the 90s boom bap sound. I know there's a certain ear for that. Now, that doesn't mean that some young people don't have that ear, because there are some young people who like jazz music, right?
Mm.
Right.
Right.
There's some young people who are into classical music.
Right.
There are some young people who are into, boom bap or the type of hip hop that, the traditional sound of hip hop. It's just not the mainstream, and that's okay.
Right. Right.
And that's okay.
Right.
And young folks deserve their own thing.
That's true. That's a fact. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Young people
I
deserve their
agree.
own thing.
Yeah.
They should not. You can't force. If young people pick, like they recognize because they want to know music, they want to understand the history and the culture and the influences and the sounds, and they want to relive the nostalgia. oh my God, that's legendary shit. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, you got to realize 85 is 85.
That's right.
All the time. All the time.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Any new musical projects you think you're gonna be working on in the future?
Well, it's this album I'm putting out with Ron Lawrence, Aubrey. We're just about done.
Mm-hmm.
I got tracks with CeeLo Green,
Mm-hmm.
KRS-One.
Mm-hmm.
Carl Thomas is supposed to give me another one.
Mm.
Malik Youssef.
Oh wow.
And I'm working on some others to
Mm.
close it out. But it's 10 joints.
Mm.
Entirely produced by Ron Lawrence.
Mm.
And it's called Aubrey, which is my middle name.
Mm.
And it represents that era of hip hop, 80s hip hop, like the tribute, so took a test.
Mm.
When you hear took a test, you're gonna hear the Fantasy 3.
Mm.
It's Your Rock.
Mm.
Dun, with the dun, 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 dun,
Mm-hmm.
dun, 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 dun. So the song is, I took a test to become an MC. The hook is rhymes I say sharp as a nail, witty as could be and not for sale. Always funky fresh, could never be stale. Took a test to become an MC and didn't fail. That's the hook.
That's dope.
Took a test. So it's like I had to take a test to become an MC. And then the cipher is about the cipher, which is, if you're a hip hop head, you know what the cipher means.
Right.
Breakdancing, rhyming, smoking weed, building, destroying the cipher. And that's what KRS did. Culture Freedom. I got a joint called Culture Freedom. I got a joint called Jewelry. Jewelry's ill. Jewelry's real ill. Solid project. So it should be out hopefully by September. I'm aiming for it. But you can hear the cipher right now. It's up for streaming. And you can also hear Took a Test.
I'll have that in the description. So you could just it's for sale, right?
Yes, it's for you can download it, you can stream it.
Okay. That's dope.
You can download it and stream it. Yeah.
Okay.
You
we'll
go to
definitely
Apple.
have that in the description.
Do what you gotta do. Yeah.
Appreciate
the support, please.
Yes,
rock with you, man. Look out for the video for Took a Test and the cipher coming real soon. Real soon.
Hakim, before we go, I got just one or two more questions for you before we go real quick. Where do you think the culture's going? Can you do all your years in the culture, representing the culture, being authentic? Where do you think the culture's going? Where do you think the culture needs to go? Actually, that's probably a better question. Where do you think the culture needs to go in the next 10 to 20 years?
When you say the culture, what do you mean the culture? Exactly.
The community, the hip hop community, the people who really feel like this is who they are, this is their identity. What do you think we all need to take this culture within the next 10, 20 years?
Okay. So, breakdancing is an official competition in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Tokyo Olympics is next month. It starts in a few weeks, I think. Next week, something like that. And in 2028, the Olympics is in LA.
Wow.
Right. So I'm thinking between now and 2028, we need to reclaim hip hop culture. Like, we need to reclaim it so that when the Olympics comes to LA in 2028 and breakdancing as an official competition is being televised or shown, we need to have impact. We need to have influence. We need to have, maybe not say there, because the IOC is its own thing and it's a lot of politics involved with, the breakdancing and how it's international. It's not a U.S. thing. It's an international thing. It just so happens to be in the U.S. in 2028. But how the reverberation of the Olympics being in LA needs to be felt across this nation and globally that U.S. hip hop is right and exact, and the original people, the original people have influence and say so what's going on. You know what I mean? We need to do that.
Yeah, I totally agree. When is the 24 hour of peace being held? What month and what day?
This year we're looking at. I don't want to speak too soon, so I'm not going to give a location.
All right.
But we were talking about September 3rd and 4th as a date. I'll have confirmation this week, but we are in talks with North New Jersey about doing 24 hours apiece. And we're looking to do it extremely big. So the conversations I've had thus far, it's very positive. We didn't do it last year because of the COVID lockdown. So we just want to make sure everybody's safe and that we can do this and be effective in in what we do.
Can you just tell the people what the 24 hour piece is about and who comes, who performs?
Yeah, it's a 24-hour peace festival that we do in North New Jersey. It was created to support then South Ward Councilman, now Mayor Ras Baraka. Violence is a public health issue. It was hip hop's culture's way of organizing around the culture to impact people. Peace, love, unity, safety, having fun is the key ethos to hip hop culture. So that's what we push. From 6 p.m. on Friday to 6 p.m. on Saturday for 24 hours straight through. We take a 3-hour break from 4 to 7. Right? And from 7, Saturday, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm right there. We're doing prayer, getting the mind right, meditation, yoga. We got Nikki D comes out. She does some athletic stuff with the community. The bartenders, giant bartenders, they come out, do the whole bartending thing.
Wow.
We got, martial arts exhibitions. We got the African dance. We got, of course, the face painting and the big jumpy, things for the kids. National Action Network, they come through 2 years with a live, they bring out the 3D printers and because they do the National Action Network sponsors a tech school in North New Jersey. It's free to all residents. And after, I think it's like a 6-month program, you get Cisco certified tech. You can go get a job. So they come out to basically demonstrate to the community what's in the community, what services are there. And that's what 24 Hours Peace really ultimately serves as, is just a commercial for the good things that are happening in the community.
Wow.
And big shout out to the mayor, Ras Baraka, who's like, official tissue, the chief, Midi Baraka, no doubt. And, New York as a city comes out and they support. We got Fat Joe, Naughty by Nature, Carl Thomas, of course, Big Daddy Kane, Dots Effects, Shan, Shantae, Master Ace, Craig G, Molly Mall, Greg Nice, Monifa, My Son, Styles P, Savion Glover, Common, John Amos, AJ Calloway. It's like the list goes on.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Much
do
respect.
It all, Boys to the Underground, no doubt.
Yeah, facts, yeah.
Who's running for Westward Councilman this year on the Rocket ticket, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure y'all go support that. Newark, stand up. The Bricks.
That's right. That's right. He's running for councilman. I got to look into that a little bit more. Thank you for reminding us about that. Yo, Hakim, much respect to you, man, for all your commitment to the culture. You know what I'm saying? The 24-hour piece is so dope, man. And I will be there this year. I will be there this year.
Yeah, look that up, y'all. YouTube, 24HRS of Peace, 24 hours of peace, mad content. Hakim, you'll see Hakim.
Oh yeah, who don't want to see?
You'll see Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah,
you'll see. 24 hours of peace, bro. He's real. Yeah. No doubt.
All right, my brother. Peace and blessings.
Salute.